Braves Country. I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. You're listening to Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Hey Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first, and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner. Hey Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show Braves Country today just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
What's up, Braves Country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love you.
Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavin. Southpaw winds and kicks. Changing speeds east and west. A gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright. The father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play. Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly. And his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts. A plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez. Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitcher's lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy. The big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler. Matzik and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren. Skip Carey 2. Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren. Spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby, and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young. The game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Ramalama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755, and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying. It felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves country's the best. Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024.
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves country. Hope y'all are having a good day. I've had better, but we won't get into that. We lost a great man today, a member of Braves country way back on the armchair quarterback days. We give the condolences to his family. There's more on that to come. We're doing something for him special this football season. He was a huge football fan, and we're going to be doing something special for him going forward. But enough about that. If there's ever been a day I needed and wanted to call a game, it's today because it's been a tough one. Tonight, you will notice on the screen that Ronald Acuna Jr. is not in the lineup. He's not hurt. So that's the good news. What it came down to is the gist of it. They asked Snicker right before the game, And basically he said he looks like he needs a break. And so I think this is kind of what I've been saying they needed to do for quite a while for all these guys that have been struggling. And hopefully he'll have today off. He'll have tomorrow off because the Braves don't play, and he'll come back Friday refreshed and maybe ready to roll. I'm sure some of it, an underlying factor has got to be him getting picked off so much. But is that mental fatigue? Is that, as they say, the good old-fashioned head up your ass, right? So maybe this will wake him up a little bit, and maybe we will be ready to roll on that note. So what I do want to play for you is, because we have time tonight, let's hit up the Chris Sale post-game interview, and then we're going to hear from Snicker. Here's Chris Sale after the game. Pretty good interview. He always is. He's a great interview.
I know you say you expect, a lot of yourself. When you look at this past month, can you say it's even gone better than expected, or even the whole season as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, again, I've said it a lot, but I put a lot of work into this offseason. I'm surrounded by a really good group of guys, unbelievable coaching staff, and a great training staff that's keeping me out there. So, I'm obviously happy with where we've been and where we're at, but, we got a long way to go. So, I'm appreciative of where we're at, but nothing to hang your hat on quite yet.
What's it been like being in this rotation lately with Max now pitching like he is capable, and Ronaldo doing what he's been doing all year?
Yeah, no doubt. It's a lot of fun. When everyone's clicking on all cylinders, everyone's happy, right? Our offense is obviously just unreal. So when we can go out there and do our job and keep runs off the board and keep winning these games, it's kind of a back and forth, right? When the pitchers are doing good, it takes off, pressure off the offense. When the offense is clicking, it takes pressure off of us, and then it just kind of comes to a head, and that's when you start playing great baseball.
Nathan, with that healthy offseason and the shoulder, is that why the slider might be right back to where it was in 17, 18, some of your greatest years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the number one thing for me is health, right? I had to get strong again, and I had to get on top of things that were not allowing me to stay healthy. And also just being able to throw it a lot more and having confidence in it. And not only that, but on the flip side, having, the guys behind the plate know, hey, this thing's working, and knowing when to use it, how to use it, and not get overboard with it, but, be able to keep it right there.
Has the strikeouts to walk ratio been one of the more satisfying things for you, the lack of free passes that you're getting?
No, I just want to win games. I don't care how. If I walk 6 tonight and we win the game, that's all that matters. The shiny numbers around it are cool, but there's a left column and a right column at the end of the day, and you just want to keep tackling that left column as much as possible.
You've talked a little about this before, but how re-energizing is just all of this? Like, obviously being healthy, but being in this new environment, being where it's a World Series contender every year, just how much is it re-energized?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fresh place, obviously, and I can't stress enough like what this clubhouse is like. The energy that's in there, and just the group of guys that's in there, and what everyone brings to the table, and just how laid back it is. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's like playing college summer baseball, just with brighter lights. Our staff allows us to be who we are, and brings out the best in everybody. And we can go out there and play baseball and have fun at the same time. That's I think when you're going to be at your best.
As you watch Matt Olson's at bats over the last week or so, can you kind of see it coming where he was, here Friday night, hitting one, a couple extra base hits tonight?
Yeah, and I think even before that, he's getting back on track, right? And he's hitting the ball. He's been hitting the ball hard, and he's been getting his walks too. That shows you even, sometimes the numbers might not show it, but when you're hitting the ball hard and you're still taking your walks, you're right there. So for him to be there tonight, that was huge.
Chris, I spoke with a couple of pitchers in the room who all complimented, just said that they've learned from you. You point out different things, adjustments that they can make. They've really learned from you. What kind of emphasis do you make in terms of just building those conversations, relationships?
I think it's just being approachable, and just if the guy's got something for me, I'm going to give him the information I have. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the information. Basically, we'll just tell you kind of like what I do and how I operate. So, I was fortunate enough when I was young to have guys that I could lean on and just ask any question in the world to. And that's what I want to be for, this group too.
Thanks, Chris.
Last thing, George Poulis, head trainer, got his gold card today. That's 8 years for players, 25 years for staff. 25 years in the show. That's a lot of show time. So congrats to him.
So there you have Chris Sale. That was post game. The two things that jump out at me with that, the number one thing is that Chris Sale is more concerned with the win column than the numbers, the strikeouts, the ERA, the WHIP. And I love that about him, though that's always a great barometer on how you assess how somebody's doing. It's still great to know that he's more, because in today's baseball, a lot of guys don't give a crap if they get the win or not. I mean, they do realistically, but they're not focused on it. They're more worried about all the other stuff and all the expected numbers and whatnot, because they're worried about their next big payday. And Chris Sale has been a champion, and I think that means a lot to him to try to get back there. And I'm telling you right now, I've got this feeling about this team. It's different. They've got a fireball mentality. It sucks that we don't have Strider on the field, but we're going to have him in the dugout, and he's got that mentality. Sale definitely has that mentality. And there's a couple other guys that they've added. I love the addition of Kelnick and what he does defensively, and he seems to have a fire in his belly. I love a lot of the players on this team, and I think as long as we're hitting all cylinders, and that's going to be the key, this team, I know the Phillies are playing well, but honest engine, we're a better team. We're a better roster. And I think eventually you kick that door back in. And remember something, we have championship pedigree. They do not. And though they may be aspiring for it, there's something to be said for having a group of guys that have won it before, including guys that have come over like Chris Sale who have won championships elsewhere. All right, this is Brian Snitker post-game. I want you to hear this before we give you first pitch.
His back tightened up after the fifth, so that was really good again. But, yeah, it was just unfortunate, and it killed him. He wanted to go back out, but we're just not going to take. It's on a nice little run here. I know that.
Stan, you guys went into the winter needing some rotation help, and now you look at Lopez and Sale, what they're giving you. I mean, how remarkable.
No, it's been great because, with Lopi, he's started before, had, big years as far as innings and all that, and had 2 really good years as a reliever. And I think, I think in the interim, guys can learn about a lot of things, learn how to, about their pitching, who they are, things like that. And he's been, and he's been so efficient too. I mean, in the innings he's covered, how he's done it, and throwing strikes, and been really, really impressed with both of them.
The strikeouts to walks ratio for Sale.
And that's crazy.
Is that what you expected?
No, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I'd faced him, obviously as another managing against him, but, I knew he was very effective. And, but when we got him, you start getting excited about getting a guy of that caliber.
Battles and now getting the results.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's going to happen. I mean, these guys are all going to get it going at some point in time. It's just, they got baseball cards, and it's going to happen. It's just, I think the hotter it gets, the hotter they'll get, quite honestly. And that's really good to see. I mean, they all stay with themselves. They continue to work, and at some point in time, it's going to, it's got to turn for them.
With a guy like that, who's been around 5, 6, 7 years, whatever now, and I mean, you think especially last year, he went through it. I mean, do you think they just kind of understand this is 6 weeks into a season?
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
I think that's how they get through. That they're very realistic with the whole situation and how long this thing is and how many games we play. And it's getting to where it's not early anymore. But I just think they know as the at-bats pile up that things are going to happen good for them, because they allow themselves to come out of a situation like that.
So Michael Harris, too, these last few games, are you seeing greasy speed?
No, yeah. I mean, Michael's the one. I've said this all day, or yesterday even, that he's got a great outlook on this, and he doesn't panic, and it's a very realistic, mature outlook on what we're doing here.
Another hit for Zach Short, and looked pretty good defensively. Can Austin Riley take his time the way he looks out there?
Yeah, it's well, I mean, it's great what Zach's done. I mean, like say a hit, just drawing the walks defensively, how solid he is. Because I don't know how long Austin's going to be, but it's sure nice when you plug somebody. Look, he's a ball player. I mean, that's I think the greatest compliment I can give a guy is if you're a ball player, and he's I can tell he's a very intelligent guy. He got good instincts, and he's done a really fine job for us in a short period of time.
Welcome back, and that is Brian Snicker. The first clip you heard was Chris Sale, and of course this was taken before the news that Acuna wasn't going to be in the lineup. But once again, Acuna's not injured. They're just giving him a night off. I really think it would do better for the entire team, for the big picture in October, to get more nights off. And it's not necessarily that they need all these nights off. I'm not talking about, what does the NBA call it, load management, because that's a load of crap. I'm talking about giving a guy a day off who's out there every single day. When you get in the heat, you get in the long season, 162 games, there's no reason why a guy can't get one day off every 2 weeks. I'm not talking about being absurd and giving him a day off every 4 days like, they do to Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge all the time because they're made of glass. I'm just talking about keeping them fresh, but, still keeping them sharp because they're in there every day. And there's nothing to say they can't come in and get a pinch hit. There's nothing to say they can't come in and pinch run, but you get a different perspective when you sit on the sidelines. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the lineups and all that stuff. We are going to be back in a flash here on Braves Country Radio. Get ready. First pitch is on the way.
Like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it. The fact that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing, Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series.
Ground ball stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam, ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. A banger, and she's gone, baby.
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary, and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season, and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Reed. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
You're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to 1 strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to Fuzz, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball.
Down a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're set to bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing left field for the Chicago Cubs, it's Michael Tauchman. He's batting .260 with 3 home runs, 12 RBI, 3 stolen bases. Seiya Suzuki is in right field, batting second. 3 home runs, 14 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .273. Cody Bellinger's the designated hitter with 7 home runs, 21 RBI, a .254 average. Christopher Morel, batting cleanup and playing third with 9 home runs, 27 RBI, 4 stolen bases, batting .219. Michael Bush playing first with 7 home runs, 20 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .252. Mastroboni is at short and batting 6th. He is 3 for 23 on the season with 2 RBI. Nick Madrigal batting 7th, playing second. 9 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .200. Pete Crow Armstrong is in center field with a .234 average, 1 home run, 7 RBI, 3 stolen bases. And Jan Gomes is behind home plate. He's the hind catcher and batting 9th. 2 home runs, 4 RBI, a .200 average. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate, it's Ramon De Jesus. First base umpire, Adrian Johnson. Second base will be manned by Quinn Walcott. And down the third base line, it's Junior Valentine. Leading off and patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Michael Harris II. He has 4 home runs, 15 RBI, 5 stolen bases, batting .260. Ozzie Albies batting second, playing second. 3 home runs, 19 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .281. Designated hitter is Marcell Ozuna, 12 home runs, 41 RBI, batting .329. Matt Olson is batting cleanup and playing first. He has 5 home runs, 22 RBI, a .218 average. Travis d'Arnaud is behind home plate with 5 home runs, 16 RBI, and a .258 clip. While Adam Duvall is in right field with 2 home runs, 8 RBI, batting .220. Orlando Arcia is at short and batting 7th. He has 4 home runs, 15 RBI, batting .248. And Jared Kelnick is in left field with 2 home runs, 7 RBI, a .273 average. Zach Short is batting 9th with 1 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .136. On the mound for the Chicago Cubs, it's Javier Assad. He's 3-0 with a 1.7 ERA, a 1.06 whip, 42 1/3 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts, 14 walks, 2 home runs given up, and 31 hits. He'll be going head-to-head with Uncle Charlie. Charlie Morton is 3-0 with a 3.14 ERA, a 1.05 whip, 43 innings, 40 strikeouts, 31 hits given up, versus 14 walks and 4 home runs served. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Cubbies Game 3 of a 3-game set. Your Atlanta Braves are going for the sweep here tonight with a day off tomorrow, and they'll welcome in the San Diego Padres right here in Atlanta on Friday night. Braves are 26-13, 15-4 at home. Cubbies 24-19, 11-13 on the road. The Bravos are -180 on the money line. The over/under is 1.5. Country Club members, warm up those tomahawks. We got the Uncle Charlie emojis kicking too. Braves country, get your game face on.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah! Roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves country. Time for some roll call here as we are getting set to bring you live play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. And we will get it rolling here in just 1 second as getting our last bit of our setup here rolling here. And the Atlanta Braves are Going for the sweep is what we're going for, and we hope to bring you the sweep here tonight as Charlie Morton, Uncle Charlie Knight here on Braves Country. First, let's say hello to the Country Club members. We got David, Charlie, Willis, Russell. We've got Edward Spry. Gary, good evening. Others in Braves Country tonight, we got Daniel, AY, Ryan, Underwater, John, JC, and Grandma King. And I think that's it. If we missed, Travis. Sorry, Travis, I didn't scroll all the way down. I think that's about it. If I missed anybody, just jump back in the chat. We'd also love to know where you're listening from, where you're watching from in Braves Country, as we're coming to you live from just outside the First Coast, northern Florida, southern Georgia area, right outside Jacksonville. And the final pitches of Charlie Morton are being thrown right now as we speak. The Braves are going to be in their classic whites, head to toe, Braves across the chest, tomahawk underneath in red, numbers in red. His number 50 is getting loose and finishing up his final warm-ups. The names will be in Navy on the back. Navy ball caps with the red bill and the white Classic A. And the Chicago Cubs will be in their classic gray. And if you're just joining us, Ronald Acuna Jr. is taking the night off. He's not injured. He's just getting a night off. Cubs are in their classic road grays, head to toe with the blue ball caps, blue socks. So it's Adam Duvall in right field tonight. As we begin this game, Michael Talkman digs in from the left side, and yes, sir, it is baseball time in Braves Country. The first ball is hammered over the left field wall, and it is a solo shot. It's 1-0 Chicago. That's a little hard to believe. Charlie Morton threw a fastball in the outer cut, and Talkman must have been sitting dead red on that because he gave it a ride. Really didn't get on top of it. He just didn't try to fight it and pushed it the other way, and it's 1-0 Chicago. So not a great way to start, but we're just getting going here. This game has a feel of one of those games that might be a little higher scoring than normal. Javier Assad is on the mound for the Cubs. He's got a 1.7 ERA. First pitch on the way to Suzuki is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Even with that being said, I was noticing before the game the wind's really blowing out. It's a warm night in Atlanta. Perfect night for hitting the baseball. The 0-1 misses outside wide, 1-1. So a 1-1 count to Suzuki. Righty. The pitch. Swing, and that ball's lifted down the right field line the other way. That one won't be far enough. It's fouling into the seats, 1-1. So a 1-2 count. The wind appears to be blowing right to left tonight. And I don't know if that had anything to do with that ball carrying out, but it is blowing in that direction. The 1-2 pitch swung on. That ball sliced foul down the first base side. We'll do it again. Braves 0, Cubs 1, top of the first inning. The 1-2. Tried to get him to chase that curveball down and away. Evens up the count 2-2. With that home run, that is the first lead of the series for the Cubs. That's the first run of the series for the Cubs. It was 2-0 in the first one, 7-0 last night. The 2-2. swung on. That ball's banged off the leg of Charlie. The ball is hit hard enough to go into right field. Duvall's going to barehand it, and he's going to, he would have had the runner dead meat at second, but the ball came out of the glove of Arcia. I don't know if the slide is what caused it to come out, but he was about to apply the tag. He was dead meat. I think Charlie's okay. It looked like it hit the bottom of his shoe. We'll have to take a look and make sure that he's all right. No, he just didn't secure it. The ball was there. It was a good throw by Duvall. I think Suzuki was taking his chances because Acuna's not out there, but Duvall's got a cannon himself. He can play all over the outfield. So a great play by Duvall and just a tough break for Arcia and the Braves. Runner on second, nobody out, and that'll bring Bellinger to the plate. Bellinger takes the first pitch and swings. He fouls it off his instep. He's limping around the infield. It's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. He needs a couple of minutes, so he's walking around the infield. Looks like he's okay. He's getting back in the box. Once again, Charlie didn't show any effects. I'm pretty sure that hit the bottom of his shoe. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, chopped foul down the first base line. It's 0-2. You'd love to either get a strikeout, a pop-out, or if it's hit, you're really gunning for it to be hit on the right side of or left side of the infield so the runner can't advance. But the Braves' defense is playing them to pull. So if he does hit it to the left side, there's a huge hole over there. The 0-2 pitch, swung on. That ball's laced into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Here comes the throw from Kelnick. He fires it into the infield. Suzuki realized he better not run on the kid. The ball is cut off. We got runners on the corners and nobody out. And a tough start for Morton. You hate to see this start for Morton. He's been so good recently. It's been off to a great start. Runners on the corners, the pitch. Off the plate wide. 1-0. The 1-0. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, 2-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1, excuse me. So a 1-1 count. Morton comes set, kicks and fires, swing and a miss over the top. It's 1-2. No, James, the screen doesn't get changed till after it repopulates. On the other side. So the 1-2 count. Morton turns around and flips it over to first. Do it again. We're checking it. As soon as it repopulates on the other side, we go to the other screen. We got tired of it just sitting there and not doing anything. So a 1-2. Righty. Pitch on the way. Down below the knees. Try to give him a chase that changeup. Do it again, 2-2. So runners on the corners and nobody out. Braves trail 1-0. Morton comes set. Charlie's on a 1-year deal. The 2-2. Outside wide curveball misses. Ball 3-2. So a 3-2 count. Bases loaded, full count. Charlie Morton on the ropes here in the first. The pitch swung on, and that ball is ripped over to short. It's going to be backhanded by Arcia. He'll get the force at second, so it's going to be a 6-4 putout, but the Cubs take a 2-0 lead. Really nowhere else to go for Arcia. Great defensive play. He backhands it, and against his body heading towards left field, he makes an outstanding throw. Ozzie had to stretch like a first baseman to get the out. So the Braves trail 2-0, but you got a runner on first, one out. The first pitch on the way is a swing and a miss strike from Bush. It's 0-1. Double play gets you out of this jam. The 0-1. Righty, lefty, kicks and deals. Swing, and that ball's hit up the middle. Ozzie's got it. Flips it over to Arcia. Arcia guns it down to first. They're going to say the runner beat the throw. It was close. They may take a look at this. It was a 4-6-3 attempt at a double play. They're looking at the replay right now, and Snicker says no. It appears that he did make it beat the throw. Looking at the replay, yeah, he definitely beat the throw. The ball was bouncing as the runner was crossing the bag. Close play. It's going to be a tough one to turn because Ozzie had a long way to go on the flip, and you can't really gun it to Arcia because you're going to handcuff him. So Mastroboni comes to the plate with 2 outs. The first pitch on the way to the number 6 hitter is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. The pitch down below the knees, ball 3-0. So Charlie Morton really struggling here in the first inning. 21 pitches in. They're going to flip it over there to first to keep him close by. Cubs 2, Atlanta nothing. The 3-0 way outside wide, ball 4. So runners on first and second now. Two outs. That'll bring the right-handed bat of Nick Madrigal to the plate. Charlie, 24 pitches in. The first pitch on the way is a cutter. He gets that first strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty. Pitch on the way. Swung on. Chop towards the first base side. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Morton looks back. Here's the pitch. Swing and fouls it back out of play. We'll do it again. So Charlie Morton at 25 pitches here in the first inning. It's not like all these balls have been hit hard, but they've been hit in the right place. And a couple of misfortunes defensively. The 0-2 pitch, swing and pops it back, fouling out of play. Well, will it stay in play? Duvall gives chase. No, it will bend out of play. About 5-6 rows back, we'll do it again. So an 0-2 count. Charlie trying to find a way to end this inning. 2 across, but we know with the Braves offense that they can get back in it in a hurry. The 0-2 Outside wide curveball misses, 1-2. Marlins beat the Tigers earlier today, 2-0. Milwaukee 10-2 over the Pirates. A lot of day games here on getaway day on a Wednesday. The 1-2 pitch swung on, grounded over towards third. It's going to be off the glove of Zach Short. He kept it from going to the outfield, but it kicked away as he had to make a dive. So now the bases are loaded. I mean, when you talk about just a bad luck across the board, this is unbelievable. Usually sure-handed Zach Short's coming up with that play and gunning down the runner. Just like the Arcia drop when the throw by Duvall and the first pitch on the way, curveball, he hits Pete Crow Armstrong. So that'll be a run. It's an RBI and a hit batsman. Charlie Morton, when he is not on, his curveball will dive into the left-handers. And I don't know why Darno and him decided to start the at-bat against a left-hander with no power. So Kranitz is going to go out there and talk to him. While he does, we're going to see if that other screen has repopulated yet. See if we can get it changed. There you go. It's usually in the middle of the first inning, and it's just not worth changing the view in the middle of the first when you're trying to do 19 other things at once. So bases loaded, 2 outs. The first pitch on the way. 4-seam fastball misses high. It's 1-0. Jan Gomes, the number 9 hitter. So all 9 hitters have come to the plate. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Cutter right inside his kitchen. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Pitch on the way, swung on and sliced foul out of play. 1-2. Jan Gomes batting .200 on the year with a .530 OPS. Charlie Morton trying to keep it right here at 3 runs. The 1-2. Swing. Pops it back, foul out of play. We'll do it again. It's not just the runs. You want to make sure you get them on the out of the inning before that pitch count. I mean, that pitch count's getting up there. He's about to throw his, 34th pitch of the night? The pitch. Down and away, misses. So Charlie Morton. Bases loaded. 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and we get out of the jam. Man, oh man, it could be a lot worse. It could have been a lot better. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
All right, as you all know, we are headed into our busy season, so please let me know if you have any time off planned. I need to get that in as soon as possible.
I submitted a few days in February for a snowboard trip.
Kate, I saw that request come in. You should have received approval already.
All right, anything coming up for you, Brian?
Yeah, so I'm actually going on a backpacking trip through the Himalayas, so pretty excited. It's going to be like a few months.
Wait, did you just say a couple of months?
Yeah, well, it's actually technically 4, but unlimited PTO, right? I mean, per the employee handbook, so I figured, well, might as well use it.
Those requests have to come through HR.
Yeah, you can't just take a couple months off at a time. That's not how this works.
Well, now I'm stuck with a non-refundable Sherpa fee, so not sure how we want to proceed or if the company can cover this, but...
We're definitely not covering your Sherpa fee. I can tell you that right now.
Warren Spahn, in his career, had 363 wins, 356 with the Braves, 4 with the Mets, and 3 with the Giants. Batting, he had 363 hits, 356 with the Braves, 4 with the Mets, and 3 with the Giants. He had 4 playoff wins, and you guessed it, 4 playoff hits.
But for all Johnson's skill and speed, there was one hitter whom he could not seem to intimidate. A young Georgian playing for Detroit, who soon found a way to get hits off Johnson. Walter Johnson was a kindly man, the Georgian explained, and never really wanted to hurt anybody.
It was useless to try for more than a single off Johnson. You had to poke and try to meet the ball. If you swung, you were dead. After he told me he was afraid he might kill a hitter, I used to cheat. I'd crowd the plate till I was actually sticking my toes on it, knowing he'd be so timid that he'd pitch me wide. Then with 2 balls and no strikes, he'd ease one up to get one over. That's the Johnson pitch I hit. Ty Cobb.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Javier Assad has been gifted a 3-run lead to start the game. He'll throw the first pitch, 4-seam fastball. Out of the zone, it's 0-1. The 0-1 swung on and fouled down the line. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Pitch on the way. Swing. Pops it back up. Foul. Braves nothing. Cubs 3. Bottom of the first. The 0-2. Harris getting the leadoff nod as the 0-2 pitch swung on. That'll dribble over to second. Be an easy 4-3 put out. 1 down. So 1 down. I get the idea of why they put Michael Harris in that leadoff spot as the first pitch on the way is down and in. For a ball, it's 1-0. But he's playing about as poorly as any of the rest. I don't know if that's the one I would want in the leadoff spot. We'll see what happens. The 1-0 right there at the knees, 1-1. Now that you got a lot of options, but you almost want to just move everybody up a spot to give Ozzie and the rest an extra at bat. So the 1-1 pitch. Down below the knees, 2-1. The hope is that Austin Riley will be back in the lineup on Friday. If he's not, it could be an IL stint. Because at that point, he would have missed 4 days. And the batters only have the 10-day IL nowadays. The 2-1, high and inside. That's called a strike by Ramon DeJesus. Ozzie doesn't like it. Can't say I blame him. 2-2. So the 2-2. Pitch on the way from Assad. Way outside, high and wide. Ball 3, 3-2. You got a full count to Ozzie. Standing on the deck is Ozuna. In the hole is Matt Olson. The payoff pitch swung on. That ball is laced over towards short. Should be an easy play. 6-3 put out. Ozzie was hustling down the line. Is out by about a half step. It's 2 down. Master Boney was taking his time there. Ozzie almost beat that out. So 2 down. That'll bring Marcell Ozuna to the plate. We know 3 runs is not the hardest thing to overcome for this offense, but you'd like to get one back here in the inning. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Right there at the knees on the outer edge. Sinker, 0-2. Javier Assad threw 6 different pitches. He's got a sinker, a four-seamer, a curve, a cutter, a slider, a change. The 0-2 pitch, caught, looking, strike 3. Good Lord. Swing the bat, Marcel. We'll be back in a flash, heading to the second, down by 3.
Dad, look, it's the good Kush.
This is the dollar store. How good can it be?
Just thought you guys should know that the Scottish have a word for laying around in bed after it's time to get up, and it's called herkle-durkling. I do be herkling and I do be durkling, and once I've herkled my last durkle in a given morning, I will get up, but I'm a big fan of a herkle-durkle, so you should be too.
There'd be a slight chance I might be pregnant.
Really? And why do you say that?
I've been craving weird things that I'm not
normally craving?
Yeah.
And now you crave it?
Like water.
Well, some of it could
craving
be
water. You ain't pregnant, you're thirsty. Go drink you some water. You'll be alright.
The Oakland Athletics mascot is somewhat randomly an elephant, but there is a reason for that. In the early 1900s, New York Giants manager John McGraw told the Athletics owner that he had a white elephant on his hands. A white elephant is something that's not as valuable as the effort needed for it. Athletics manager Connie Mack heard this and decided to make an elephant the team's logo.
How do we opt out of TikTok shop videos? I don't want to see them anymore! I'm not going to shop on TikTok shop! I'm going to shop on Amazon! Stop showing me your videos!
How come your socks aren't the same color?
I don't know. How come your kids don't have the same last name?
The greatest ball player of all time? I picked the Detroit man because he is, in my judgment, the most expert man of his profession and is able to respond better than any other ball player to any demand made upon him. He plays ball with his whole anatomy, his head, his arms, his hands, his legs, his feet. I have never seen a man who had his heart more centered in the sport than Cobb has when he's playing. I believe Cobb would continue to play ball if he were charged something for the privilege, and if the only spectator were the groundskeeper, Charles Comiskey.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail 3-0. The first pitch on the way from Morton to Talkman, who hit a solo shot his first time up, is off the plate wide. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Changeup misses outside, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Pitch on the way from Charlie. Nowhere near the zone. Ball 3-0. Braves trail 3-0. We're here in the top of the second inning. Charlie Morton is about to throw his 39th pitch of the night, the 3-0. Right down the pipe for a strike on the inner cut. It's 3-1. Braves have tomorrow off, and then we've got a 4-game set, a weird one, against the Padres. The 3-1 pitch swung on. That ball is sliced down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is just foul. Bangs around and lands in the seats right down that corner on the left field side. So now full count. We have 2 night games, Friday night and Saturday night, and then a day game on Sunday, and then they play Monday on like a getaway day on a Monday, which is very odd. They rarely ever do that. It's a 12-20 first pitch. Full count, swing, and that ball's fouled over the Cubs third base dugout. We'll do it again, full count. The full count from Charlie. Kicks and fires. Chops that, foul. So a full count, and Talkman, who's got a home run to his credit, is now really making Charlie work in this at bat. If you're just joining us, it was a fastball on the outside edge, and he just kind of lifted it barely over the left field wall. The 3-2 pitch swung on, lifted high into left field. Easy play for Kelnick. Lazy fly ball makes it one away. You'd like to see Charlie come on and start shutting him down, but you'd also like to see a couple of quick innings to get that pitch count down. So 1 down. Cubs scoring the first 3 runs of the series in that first inning. First pitch on the way to Seiya Suzuki is a cutter up top, called for a high strike. It's 1-0. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 4-seamer. Outer edge 0-2. The 0-2 from Charlie. Lifts his glove and lets her go. Change up, down and away, 1-2. The 1-2 from Morton. He flips it up there, swung on, lifted high into left center field, coming over. Making the catch is the kid, JK. 2 down. So 2 fairly quick outs. That'll bring the number 3 hitter Bellinger to the plate. Bellinger's 1 for 1. Singled in the first. The first pitch to him. That ball hit the zone up top and he didn't get the call. Ramon De Jesus. Not the best of nights so far. The 1-0 pitch is outside wide, 2-0. Righty lefty. The 2-0 pitch. Kicks and fires. Curveball grabs the outer part of the zone, 2-1. Ball got away, but we still got the call. Sometimes you'll see those umpires not give the call because they're so distracted by the ball popping away they don't give the strike. But that definitely hit the edge. The 2-1 from Morton. Down below the knees. 3-1. Standing on deck is Morrell. Bellinger and Morrell have 7 and 9 home runs respectively. The 3-1 pitch outside wide, ball 4. And Bellinger will head on down to first. That might have been a case there of Charlie not wanting to give in on a 3-1 count and take his chances with the right-hander. It's a small thing that happened, but that ball that popped out of the glove of Arcia really led to a long inning. The first pitch on the way to Morrell is swung on, lifted high, deep down the right field line, bending, just foul, not a play. Long, loud strike 1. If that ball's fair, it may hang up for Duvall to make that catch, but it looked like it was heading towards the wall if it stays fair. Righty. Morrell 0 for 1. The pitch right there. Touch below the knees. Didn't get the call. 1-1. Braves are playing the shift to the left side of the infield. The 1-1. Swung on. That ball's lifted high and deep down the right field side. Drifting back on the warning track. Adam Duvall makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. So a little better going here in the second. We'll grab the bats and try to make a dent on that board.
Drink a whole lot of whiskey, chase a lot of women, and become a legend and die.
Hard work does not guarantee success. It doesn't, and it never will. But it absolutely will put you in the best position to be able to achieve it. I think that's one thing that we've seen throughout the course of this season. We got some remarkable men that are sitting here in front of me. And the work you put in, the decision that you made, just to say yes. Because you know what? It's really easy when things don't go well, right? And you're hurt, right? And you're angry, and you're sad. The easiest thing to do is to pull back and stop. That's what the world wants you to do. You deserve better than that. So I apologize to you. For you guys that are playing your last game, you had a season that will be remembered forever. And I respect the hell out of who you are for being in here today, for stepping on that field and going and giving everything. You have my respect.
Be nice to him when he gets here.
I will.
Just because he doesn't like football,
He doesn't like football.
I've told you this already.
He doesn't like it at all.
No.
What does he do over a weekend?
Well, we do things like read books and go for walks and spend time together.
I don't think you should be seeing this guy.
Why not?
I don't trust him.
The world doesn't revolve around football, Dad.
It does. I still don't understand what he does over a weekend.
Well, this weekend we're going shopping.
No.
Baseball is a red-blooded sport for red-blooded men. It's no pink tea, and mollycoddles had better stay out. It's a struggle for supremacy, a survival of the fittest.
Ty Cobb liked sentimentality in his opponents because he had none himself. Baseball, he said, is something like a war.
Ty Cobb is one of the great natural forces of baseball. Testament to how far you can get simply through will. I don't think Ty Cobb had tremendous natural ability. I don't think he would be a great athlete today. But his intensity, his drive was unparalleled. Cobb was pursued by demons, and he took out all of his aggressions on the playing field. Everyone was his enemy.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Olson is swung on down below the ankles. That ball goes to the backstop. It's 0-1. Righty, lefty. Assad goes back to work. The pitch. Curveball well down below. Out of the zone, 1-1. Matt Olson is batting .218 with 5 home runs. 22 RBI, a .731 OPS. He showed signs of getting out of it last night. The 1-1. Swing and fouls it straight back. It's 1-2. Braves trail 3-0. Bottom of the second, so we're just getting going here. Olson digs in the pitch. Down below the knees. 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Pitch on the way. Outside wide. Try to grab that outer edge with the curveball. Full count to Olson. On your screen, it's showing 4. Matt Olson hit his 5th home run last night. I'm not sure what's going on there. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 1 away. They've corrected. Now they've got career against the Cubs, so maybe that's what they were getting at when they put the original 4 home runs. But nonetheless, there's 1 down. Travis d'Arnaud. He takes a swing at the very first pitch. That ball's going to rattle around like a pinball up against the right field mark deep into the corner. He's got a sliding double with 1 out to get things going. The first base runner, the first hit for your Atlanta Braves. And let's get things going here. We like to call that a TVA special right there. The retirement plan loves to take that outside hard stuff and slap it into the right field corner. He has made a living off of that. One on. 1 out. The first pitch by Duvall is a easy chopper over to third. 5-3 put out. 2 down. You hate seeing him give away those at-bats like that. Righty-righty matchup. Here comes Orlando Arcia. Arcia takes the first pitch off the plate wide. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Cubs infield is to the left, so pretty good gap on the right side. The 1-0 right there at the knees for a strike. Sinker, 1-1. Tell you right now, what Charlie's saying, he'd like to get a couple of those calls. He has not given any kind of low stuff to Morton so far. The 1-1 to Arcia. The pitch on the way. Outside wide slider, nowhere near the zone, 2-1. Cubs 3, Braves nothing. You'd love to just chip away at this, get a run here. Get a little bit of a bounce in your step heading into the next inning. The 2-1. Assad comes set. Lets her go. Swing, and that ball's lifted high down the right field line. Is it going to stay in play? It's foul, just out of play. Mets lead the Phillies 2-1, so that's a nice surprise. The 2-2 to Arcia. Down below the knees, trying to get to chase that curveball. Good take. The Mets are facing Ranger Suarez. He has been phenomenal this year. He is 7-0 with an ERA of 1.5 going into the game. The full count pitch, swung on high, chopper towards the mound. Assad's got it. He'll toss it over to first, and it is a 3-1 putout to end the inning. Arcia slams his helmet in disgust. We'll be back in a flash going to the third.
Well, you know I love my family. It's just sometimes I want to get in the car and run them all over.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. You might know MC Hammer as the rapper who made You Can't Touch This. As a teenager, he was a bat boy for the Oakland Athletics, and Reggie Jackson gave him the nickname Hammer. Jackson thought MC Hammer looked like Hank Aaron, whose nickname was Hammer and Hank. The Yankees currently have a no beards policy, but the Cincinnati Reds actually had a similar policy for around 30 years. In the late 1960s, general manager Bob Howsam enforced a no facial hair policy in order to give the Reds a presentable look. But the policy ended in 1999 when the Reds traded for Greg Vaughn.
It's the 21st century, and there are just so many fun and exciting ways to lose your money. So many ways to make your life even more interesting with crippling financial burdens. Why not one more way? New in Canada, it's Solitaire, MMORPG. Play with yourself, online. See other people playing with themselves, online. Poverty Poker Online, now offering Solitaire. A new way to lose all your money, even your home, from the comfort of your own home.
He was born on a Georgia farm in 1886 and named Tyrus after the ancient city of Tyre that stubbornly refused to surrender to Alexander the Great. His father was distant, demanding, and nothing young Tyrus could do ever seemed to satisfy him. The tense, skinny boy took out his anger on the diamond. He left home at 17 to play in the minors in Alabama and Tennessee. His father warned him, "Don't come home a failure." That admonition, Cobb recalled, put more determination in me than he ever knew. My overwhelming need was to prove myself as a man.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail this one 3-0. Charlie Morton goes back to work. 55 pitches into the night. We're just starting the third. The first pitch on the way. It's cutter up top for a strike. It's 0-1. If you're just joining us, Charlie didn't have the best first inning, but at the same token, he had some bad luck. A couple of things just didn't go his way. The 0-1 pitch swung on, fouled straight back. It's 0-2. If Arcia makes that catch and applies the tag, Suzuki is dead meat, and you might be talking about a much different inning. So an 0-2 count. Righty-lefty pitch on the way. Swung on and chopped foul back behind home plate. We'll do it again. Yeah, Philly's in the middle of a 4-game set where the first 2 were in New York and the last 2 are at home. It's really strange. They're back-to-back. So Monday through Thursday, Monday, Tuesday we're in New York. Wednesday, Thursday we're in Philly. The 0-2, high and out of the zone, 1-2. I believe tomorrow's game is a day game as well. So it's a day night a night day and then a night day. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away. What's going to be tough for this Braves team is that we're not going to get a lot of days off down the stretch in the summer. You're looking at it, we've played 4 less games than the Phillies, which that's why with being tied at the loss column, we're 2 games back. So they've got 4 more wins, but we both have 13 losses. First pitch on the way to Mastrobuoni's upstairs for a strike. It's 0-1. We're off tomorrow, and the Phillies are playing again. So they will have 5 games that they have played. And we've got a couple of bad breaks in the weather, but all in all, it's a very, very odd schedule to start off. The 1-1 from Morton. Sets and fires. Curveball misses outside, 2-1. So 2-1, 1 down. Mastrobuoni walked his first time up. The pitch. Outside wide. "3-1 count to the weak hitting Mastrobuoni, just a .433 OPS. The pitch swung on, popped up high in the sky. Darno didn't know where it was. He was looking around, but it went well out of play. Full count. Cannot be walking guys like Mastrobuoni if you want to get right here. The payoff pitch, nowhere near the zone, ball 4. That pitch was inside a 4-seam fastball. So 1 down, 1 on. You got Madrigal. His OPS is just .535. I mean, you've got a light hitting lineup at the bottom of this order. You got to get aggressive and get out of it quick. First pitch on the way to Madrigal is right there at the top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. Cubs 3, Braves nothing. Phillies, by the way, have loaded the bases against the Mets. The 0-1, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. So Ranger Suarez was on the mound tonight for the Phillies, and it looked like the Mets are going. They pulled up Lucchesi from the minors. So it was basically not quite a bullpen game, but they got a guy who's normally not starting tonight on the bump. The 0-2 pitch, swung on, swatted into right field. Here comes Duvall. He throws the ball high. Great jump, leaping catch by Zach Short. I don't know how in the world Too Short got that throw from Duvall. They tested Duvall's arm that time. This time, they won. Duvall, he paused for a second, so I don't know if he couldn't make out where Short was. He came up with the ball throwing it, and when he went to let go of it, he had to almost do a double pump. First pitch on the way to Crow Armstrong is swung on and swatted back foul. It's 0-1. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Charlie Morton at 70 pitches. I don't think he's going to get out of the 4th. We may not even see him in the 4th. The 0-1. Charlie flips it over there. Terrible throw. That'll be a run. And the Cubs lead it 4-0. In fact, the runner is going to just kind of cruise on over there to third. I mean, you talk about having your heads up your rear. I don't know if it's because Snicker's sitting there on the mic being interviewed and chuckling along with the idiots in the booth, but they are just playing like this is a exhibition game. So the Cubs lead at 4-0. Charlie Morton fires the 0-1 right there, and it swats it back foul. It's 0-2. I don't know what he was getting out of going over there and chucking it over there to first base. A double play would have got you out of the inning. A strikeout against against Magical, who's batting .226 with a .558. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Trying to figure out what's going on here. Crow Armstrong ran down to first. There was no attempt. I have to wait for this. This is a weird scenario. So I don't know if there's a question on whether or not the ball got away. Craig Counsell, the manager for the Cubs, wants an explanation. I can't blame him. Oh, because he tagged him on the foot. He backhanded, tagged him on the foot before he ran, so d'Arnaud didn't have to throw it down to first. Okay, now it makes sense. It was hard to see from the original angle. But d'Arnaud was smart and tagged him on the foot, and Armstrong knew it as the first pitch on the way is swatted foul and out of play. It's 0-1. Armstrong knew it because he about tripped getting out of the tag. Anyways, the 0-1 pitch, high and inside, 1-1. I would say this is Charlie's last inning. The Braves are off tomorrow. They got an open bullpen, should be ready to rock and roll. He's at 75 pitches through 3 innings. They may try to squeeze an inning out of him, but I don't see it. The 1-1 swung on, foul back out of play. It's 1-2. They may give him the rest of the night off and give him a chance to get right. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Charlie Morton comes set, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Charlie Morton with his 4th strikeout of the night in 3 innings, but he's given up 4, 3 earned, and he's walked 3 with 5 hits.
They say when you can't sleep at night, it's because you're awake in someone else's dreams. When I find out who you are, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
While warming up for a game in 1983, Yankees player Dave Winfield accidentally hit a bird with a ball. After the game, he was actually taken to a local police station and charged with animal cruelty. Fortunately for Winfield, charges were quickly dropped. In 1970, the Cardinals signed a catcher out of high school named Randy Poffo. He played in the minors for the Cardinals and the Reds for 4 years before quitting baseball. He instead pursued professional wrestling, where he became the legendary Macho Man Randy Savage.
G'day. Hi, it's Dean, calling from Cyprus.
Buongiorno, Dino.
My mate wants me to rub sun cream on his back.
Holy dooly. A delicate matter, but a burnt wingman is useless. So there are rules.
Okay.
Only put cream where he can't reach. Between his shoulder blades. The safe zone.
But anything else?
Whack it on thick, mate. Last thing you want to do is a second coat. And remember, Dino, the following things are not permitted. Eye contact. Scented candles. Power balance. And do not apply if he's wearing budgie smugglers. Are we all clear?
Crystal. Cheers, fellas.
No dramas.
Armchair.
Sale to a major league team seemed only weeks away, a sure sign of the success with which he hoped to win his father's favor. Then Cobb got a telegram. His father was dead, shotgunned. Cobb's own mother had shot him. Her husband thought she was having an affair, and when he tried to slip into her bedroom window at night to trap her with her lover, she shot him twice. Later, she said, she had mistaken him for a prowler. My father had his head blown off when I was 18 years old, by a member of my own family, Cobb told a writer when he was an old man. I didn't get over that. I've never gotten over it. 3 weeks after his father was killed, on August 30th, 1905, Ty Cobb played his first game for the Detroit Tigers.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Jared Kelnick takes a swing at the first pitch. Down below the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. The 0-1 to J.K. Swing, and that ball's lifted high and deep into right field. Going back on the track, almost colliding with the center fielder. Suzuki makes the catch. The deepest part of the warning track, one away. I think maybe Crow Armstrong was starting to call him off, and then the ball was in right field, but if the center fielder calls you off, the protocol is to get out of the way so there's not that collision. But Suzuki makes the catch, and there is no injury. First pitch on the way to Zach Short is off the plate for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1, right there for a strike. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Righty, pitch on the way. Caught looking, strike 3. Zach Short, I guess, was just up there to see the sights. 2 away. He's done well, all things considered, but it'll be nice to get Riley back in the lineup, hopefully by Friday. Braves trail 4-0, third inning. Long way to go in this one. The first pitch on the way to Michael Harris II is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. In the dirt. Ball 2, 2-0. The 2-0 from Assad. Comes set. Lets her go. High and in the zone. Evens up the count. 2-1. So a 2-1 count. The pitch on the way. Swung on. Swatted foul and out of play. We'll do it again. I had to change my main feed. I can't sit there for the rest of the night and watch them chuckle it up. I mean, all they're doing is showing highlights of 30 years ago. The 2-2 count. Swung on, and it's a comebacker. Assad takes a swipe at it. It's going to be an infield single for Michael Harris II. That was pretty amusing. I don't know if he made contact with it, but Assad did a backhanded slap at the ball, and I think he might have made a little bit of contact. He made just enough contact to slow the ball down. And it made it impossible to make that play with Harris busting it down the line. So Ozzie Albies comes to the plate. First pitch on the way to the Wiz is high and out of the zone. 1-0. Yeah, I think he hit it with the webbing. What little chance they had of getting, I don't think they would have gotten Harris anyways. The 1-0 pitch, high and out of the zone. Good night, Irene. It's 2-0. So 2 fastballs back to back, well out of the zone. As Assad goes to the set, not from the windup. Ozzie 0 for 1 with a ground out. The pitch on the way. Swing and swats it back foul off the catcher's chest protector. 2-1. Standing on deck is Ozuna. There are 2 outs, but this is a great time for get a couple of swats and a smack. Runner on first, 2-1 pitch. High and out of the zone, ball 3, 3-1. Assad at just 41 pitches, so no threat there. The 3-1 to Ozzie. Harris leaning towards second. They're going to flip it over there first to keep him close by. Whatever you do, you can't get picked off right here. That guy took the night off. So a 3-1 count. Assad raises his glove and lets her go. Swing and pops it up. Man, why did you swing at that? It goes out, back behind into the crowd, 3-2. He chased one with a 3-1 count. That would have been ball 4, not to mention, thankfully, that thing went out of play. Usually that's one of those ones that turns into a can of corn in the infield. So you got a full count to Ozzie. The good news on that is Harris will be on the move. Marcell Ozuna stands on deck. Ozzie, open stance from the left side. The payoff pitch. Swung on, lifted into center field. Making the catch is Crow Armstrong, and that'll end the inning. Braves put one on, but can't scratch them across. We head to the top of the 4th, trailing 4-0.
Super marriage tip. If your wife is laying down on the couch, just ask her, do you plan on doing anything today? This will subconsciously remind your wife that she has chores around the house that needs done, and she needs to get up and do her chores.
Find everything you need today?
Yeah.
Great, okay.
Oh, God. No.
Everything okay, ma'am?
It's just that you've only scanned a few items and it's already $60. I'm so scared.
Okay, I'm a trained professional, ma'am. I've scanned a lot of groceries. I need you to stay with me.
It's just that my in-laws are in town and they want a charcuterie board.
Well, this isn't going to be easy, so I need you to be brave, all right? I need you to take a deep breath. We're about to do the cheese.
Oh, my God.
Don't look up there. It only makes it worse. Keep your eyes on me, okay?
Can't you just scan something less expensive?
Brace yourself. I'm about to do the mixed nuts.
Oh, my God. I'm going to pass out.
Get ready. I'm going to do the cured meats.
Oh, no, stop. I can't do this anymore.
It's too late. There's a line behind you, okay? You're locked in.
I'm not strong enough.
I know it looks like a lot right now, but I promise you, you're going to get home and you're going to wonder, what did I even buy? Get ready. I'm going to weigh the grapes.
Oh, what have you done to me, you son of a...
Armchair.
Crazy stats. On June 25th, 1976, in a doubleheader against the White Sox, Toby Harrah became the only shortstop ever to play every single inning of a doubleheader and not get a single ball hit to him.
Cobb's ferocity drove his team to the pennant in 1907 and himself to the batting championship of the American League. At 20 years and 10 months, Ty Cobb was the youngest man ever to win a big league batting title. He would win 7 more in a row, 12 in 13 years. He was, one writer said, a cyclone, a tornado, a typhoon, all rolled into one.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. And yes, sir, Charlie Morton is done for the night. Ray Kerr comes out of the pen, tried to eat a couple innings. He flips the first strike up there. At the knees off the edge, it's 0-1. Ray Kerr has thrown 3 innings so far, no earned runs. The 0-1 is chopped foul down the line. 0-2. That could be indicative of what's going to happen on Friday. They're saying that Pierce Johnson could be back. As the 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Ray Kerr comes out the pen throwing flames one away. The obvious question would be who goes down when Pierce Johnson comes back, if it is It sounds like it's going to be Friday, but they haven't committed to it yet. First pitch on the way. Seiya Suzuki is inside, almost gets him. It's 1-0. You're looking at the roster. The two obvious names that pop out is Ray Kerr and Jackson Stevens. The 1-0 pitch, swung on, pops it up, can of corn, who wants it? Arcia's got it. 2 down. So it'd really be between him and Jackson. If you send Kerr down, as far as left-handers, you still have Minter, Bummer, and Dylan Lee. If you send Jackson down, as the first pitch on the way, swung on and belted high and deep. Will that stay in the park? It is off the wall. Michael Harris, the second, plays it off the carom, and Bellinger's got a 2-out double. That barely held. Thankfully, it was in right field where that big brick wall sits. If it's to the left into right center, that would have been pay dirt. But Kerr still has options left. If you send Jackson Stevens down, it'll be a DFA. First pitch on the way to Christopher Morel is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. This could be a situation where they're sending Kerr out there to eat some innings with the Braves trailing 4-0, see what he can do, knowing that if they send him down, they can rest him for as long as they want and take some innings off the bullpen tonight, depending on how this game plays out. The 1-0, lefty-righty, inside, 2-0, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It would make sense to send Kerr down to keep him developing and have Jackson stay up for the long man. The 2-0 pitch, down below the knees, 3-0. So 3-0 to Morel. Bush stands on deck. So he may be pitching around him, the left-hander. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Cubs. As the pitch on the way, right there for a strike. 3-1. Braves, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. And a couple of gaffes. The 3-1 pitch, swing, pops it back foul. We got a full count. So down 3-0, he's fought his way back to a full count. If I'm Kerr, I'm still not just laying one in there with the lefty standing on deck. The payoff pitch from Kerr. Swing, pops it up. High in the sky. Making the fair catch is Orlando Arcia at about the 45-yard line. That'll end the inning. So the Cubs put one on but can't get him across. Ozuna, Olsen, Darnold are heading to the dish.
I do, in fact, around and find out. I have, in fact, learned every lesson the hard way.
Movie theaters are failing because literally no one goes and sees movies anymore. And I think there's a few reasons for this. I think, number one, no one makes good movies anymore. Number two, it's so damn expensive. And number three, you can just watch the movie on Amazon or Hulu or Netflix in like a week. But I think I have the greatest solution ever for movie theaters. Bro, these movie theaters need to start showing live sports games. Could you imagine if a movie theater played March Madness basketball games? Number one, the screens are massive, so you can play like 4 different college basketball games all at the same time on the same screen. Number two, they already have everything a sports fan will want. They have beer and they have food. And could you imagine if they made like all-day passes for March Madness? Like $20 to get in, it's $10 beer pitchers, and then you could like rotate through the different movie theaters and watch all of the different games. Like, it would be so sick, and they would make so much money from doing that.
David Ortiz was actually sued by Jay-Z in 2010. Ortiz had opened up a nightclub in the Dominican Republic called 4040, which Jay-Z thought was too similar to his nightclubs, named the 4040 Club. Ortiz and Jay-Z reached an agreement, and the trademark infringement lawsuit was settled out of court.
I think baseball is a great support to people who have emotional voids, gaps, emotional difficulties. That is to say, all of us. Those parts of us that don't function well, those parts of us that are sad or depressed, not every day. They can really use baseball. It isn't just the child in a wheelchair or the shut-in senior citizen listening to the radio that needs the game. There's part of us, part of everybody who's a baseball fan, that needs the game at that level.
Your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty. Ozuna struck out the first time up. The 1-0 swung on. Chased that one down below the knees. 1-1. Phillies lead the Mets 5-2. The Mets are metting there. They're about to get beat into submission. They're down 3 in the 6th, and the Phillies have runners on the corners, nobody out. The pitch on the way, down and away, 2-1. You know the Mets offense cannot really make a big comeback, so they got to keep that thing close. They're going to need a miracle to get out of that. And they got the back of their bullpen in the game, too. The 2-1 pitch. Swing! Chops that foul down the line. Evens up the count 2-2. Assad, he leans on that sinker and four seam. Those are the two you see the most. They combine for about a 53% usage between the two. But he'll sprinkle in that curve, slider, changer, and cut almost equally. The 2-2. Top of the zone, caught looking, strike 3. Hit him with the two-seam gas, the sinker at the top of the edge of the corner. You got to swing the bat there. One down. See if Matt Olson can get something going. The first pitch on the way is slapped on the ground to short. Easy play, Mastroboni over to Bush. Insert that joke. There's 2 away. So 2 down. And that'll bring up Travis d'Arnaud. d'Arnaud hit a double in the corner his first time up. The first pitch on the way is right there for a strike off the edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Down and away. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Righty, pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And he chased that one well inside off the plate. 1-2. Even if he gets a hold of that thing, he's going to smash it over towards the dugout. d'Arnaud stares at a 1-2 count now. 2 outs in the inning. The pitch down and away. Bounces away. Evens up the count 2-2. The 2-2 from Assad. Outside wide, ball 3. Most of your games were played earlier today, but we will hit the out-of-time scoreboard here in 1 second. The full count. Swing. Pops it up. Will it stay in play? It will not. Bends well out of play. Your out-of-town scoreboard looks like this. Seattle. Brian Wu beat the Royals and Alec Marsh 4-2. Pretty good game. Well pitched. I watched quite a bit of that one. Sox 2-0 over Washington. White Sox, that is. Crochet with the win. The payoff pitch. Down and in. Ball 4. So Travis d'Arnaud heads on down to first. 2 outs. Garcia coming to the plate. Detroit topples Miami 2-0. That Tiger team, they have got some great pitching and some bad hitting. First pitch on the way to Adam Duvall is swung on and lifted high into left field, but he just got underneath that one. Got a good swing on it, but didn't get it far enough. It'll die into left field for the final out. We head to the top of the 5th, trailing 4-0.
Got the results today from my doctor. He said I was a beast.
No, he said you were obese.
How do I permanently erase you from my feed? I don't know, dude. I only know how to get on the For You page a lot, and also a bunch. But I would just assume, probably like you did, comment a whole bunch. That way TikTok knows that you don't like it and you don't see me anymore. You probably also want to share, like, favorite, follow, these sorts of things. That way you never have to see me again.
On June 11th, 1938, Johnny Vandermeer threw a no-hitter against the Boston Bees. Just 4 days later, Vandermeer threw a second no-hitter, this time against the Dodgers. To this date, Vandermeer is still the only player in baseball history to throw 2 straight no-hitters.
When there's a shooting in the lobby of your apartment building, call management the next day and renew your lease. Be a man.
I'll level with you. I was playing poker with the guys. I lost $12 and knowing the way you feel about gambling. See, I was ashamed to tell you.
Where was you?
Now, just let me say this to you, that this whole evening is gonna run a lot smoother if you just believe everything I say and then forget about it now. Come on, let's go to bed, huh?
Next to Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, the name of A.G. Spaulding is the most famous in American literature. It has been blazing forth on the cover of guides to all sorts of sports, upon bats and gloves for many years. Young America gets its knowledge of the past in the world of athletics from something that has Al Spaulding on it in big black letters. And for that reason, as much as any other, he is one of the national figures of our time. Boston Herald.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Ray Kerr, who's back out there, is going to get lifted into left field. That is down for a base hit. Good piece of hitting by Michael Bush. Didn't try to do too much with it. Just dropped it into left for a leadoff single. Runner on first, nobody out. You're looking at the standings, Major League Baseball right now. If you're just looking at the big picture, the 20,000 or the 30,000 view from the air. As the first pitch on the way from Kerr to Mastroboni is swung on, pops it up. High in the sky into left. That'll be an easy out. Lazy fly ball caught by Kelnick. He fires it back into the infield. 1 away. Braves have the second best record in the National League at 26-13. Phillies 30-13. But if you look at the comparative schedules, and it all evens out in the end, Phillies played a much easier schedule than Atlanta has. Dodgers are third at 29-15. Kerr flips it over there to first to keep Bush close by. Really is amazing that we are in front of the Dodgers considering the fact that they swept us in L.A. earlier this year. Milwaukee 26-17. These Cubs are in 5th place in the National League at 24-19. First pitch on the way to Madrigal is well inside for a ball. It's 1-0. So if the playoffs began today, as the pitch on the way from Kerr gets swung on, slapped into right field, and that is I think Ozzy's going to get the runner in a pickle going from first to second. He will, and that'll be an out. Bush went first to third after Duvall just kind of flipped it into the outfield. And it looks like the runner thought that Duvall's throw was going through over to third and he was going to grab a base. Instead, Ozzy cut it off. A great heads-up defensive play by Ozzy Albies. And he caught the runner in a pickle between second and third, and they kept the runner between second and first, and they kept the runner at third right there. Crow Armstrong is going to drop a perfectly crafted bunt, and it's going to get through for a infield single. 5-0 Chicago. So all that ended up being for naught. Bush comes home on the score. The way they had the defense set up, there was a huge hole over there. If Kerr doesn't make the play, and what Armstrong was betting on, and he was right, is that the left-hander's follow-through was going to take him off the mound, and he basically hit him where he was. He was the only person who would have had a realistic chance at making that play. And Armstrong now steals second. And the 6th possible run of the game stands in scoring position. He had a huge jump. Kerr's not even paying attention over there. So now down 5-0. First pitch on the way is down and in to Gomes. It's 2-0 now. So a 2-0 from Kerr. Looks back the runner, the pitch. Fastball top of the zone. 2-1. Phillies lead the Mets 7-2. But back to the overall standings in the National League right now is the 2-1. Right there at the knees on the intercut, 2-2. If the playoffs began today, Philly, Dodgers, and Milwaukee would be the division winners. Braves, Cubs, and Padres would be your wild cards. Braves would be at home against, as the pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. More on that when we come back. Braves got to get some runs. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
In 1970, the Cardinals signed a catcher out of high school named Randy Poffo. He played in the minors for the Cardinals and the Reds for 4 years before quitting baseball. He instead pursued professional wrestling, where he became the legendary Macho Man Randy Savage.
Did I ever tell you my grandma had 4 babies at once? 4 at once? Yeah, they called them quadruplets. Yeah, and the doctor come up there to deliver the babies, and he had my grandpappy holding the lantern, and he said, "Come the baby," and the baby come out, and then he held up the lantern. He said, "Hold up that lantern again. I think there's another." Sure enough, another baby come out. He said, "Hold that lantern up." I said, "I think there's another." And Grandpappy held it up, and here comes another. The 4th baby started to come. He said, "Hold that lantern up." Grandpappy said, "No, I think it's the light that's attracting them."
I'm a Sagittarius, which probably tells you way more than you need to know.
Yes, it tells us that you participate in the mass cultural delusion that the sun's apparent position relative to arbitrarily defined constellations at the time of your birth somehow affects your personality.
Albert Goodwill Spaulding, the sporting goods king, could look back on a long career in baseball. First as a superb pitcher, then as a ruthless club owner, finally as the man who had made the game big business. But he still had one more service to perform. He was determined to prove that baseball was an exclusively American invention, the brainchild of some ingenious American lad. He appointed a commission to prove it, but 2 years of research turned up almost nothing. Then, in 1905, a letter arrived from a frail old man who claimed that General Abner Doubleday had invented baseball as a boy in Cooperstown, New York, one afternoon in 1839. It wasn't true, but it was just what Spalding had been looking. It proved, he said, that baseball truly was the national game, played by Americans, watched by Americans, now invented by an American.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia is, well, looked like a top of the zone strike, but we got the call. It's 1-0. It'll be Orlando, Kelnick, and Short due up, 7, 8, 9 batters. The 1-0, bang foul. Third base side, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt. You go around, he did not. 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Righty, righty. Pitch on the way, swung on, grounded hard into the hole. Backhanded by the shortstop. Arcia is out. The throw was off line, but a great tag by Bellinger as Arcia ran by, one away. Terrible throw by Mastroboni. Is a tough play, but Arcia doesn't run the fastest. It's not quite a statue, but he doesn't have the speed of your typical outfielder or infielder. A little surprised they didn't trip him up. Wait a minute, did he tag him? Looking at the replay, I don't know. First pitch on the way to Kelnick is down and in for a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. I don't think he got him. Because if he got him, he would have face planted. The 0-1. Fastball right down the pipe, taken all the way. 0-2. It's a little too early to get the knee-jerk reactions about. Remember, last year at this time, no one even had Arizona even on their radar, and they made it all the way to the World Series. The 0-1, swung on, fouled straight back. It's 0-2. So the point of that is, if the playoffs started today, this would be your first-round matchup. It would be Braves versus Cubs in Atlanta for a 3-game set. The 0-2 pitch, down below the knees, 1-2. You would have Milwaukee facing San Diego in Wisconsin, with the Dodgers and Phillies having the round off. 1-2, slap foul. We'll do it again, 1-2. In the American League, Baltimore, their winning percentage is a little lower than the Braves. So the Braves and Phillies have the best records in baseball right now. But in the American League, Baltimore, Cleveland, as the pitch is on the way to Kelnick. Caught looking, strike 3. That one was in off the plate. That might be a 5-0 strike called. Ramon De Jesus, he's bottom third at best as far as home plate umpires. All of his rankings are usually around that bottom third. In the American League, Baltimore would be currently, they would actually be tied with the Dodgers if they were in the National League right now for the third best record in the National League. First pitch on the way to Short is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Yankees, would be the first wild card. As the pitch on the way to short, swung on. He drops it into right center field. Zach Short. Zach ain't too short. He gets on. 2 outs. We'll see if that might lead to something as the top of the order is winding around. But in the National League, the American League, Cleveland, Minnesota, and Kansas City, believe it or not, that would be your division winner and your 2 wild cards, with Seattle grabbing the last slot as the division winner, the number 6 hole. That is very rare for the AL Central to be that good this late in the season. First pitch on the way to Michael Harris is swung on and fouled straight back. It's 0-1. We saw how good that pitching for Seattle was. But they've got the same problems that a few teams have. They just can't score. The 0-1 swung on. That ball is dribbled over to first. Easy put out. Harris gives away another at bat. That's a guy that needs a day off. We'll be back in a flash.
My wife accused me of stealing her thesaurus. Not only was I shocked, I was appalled, aghast, and dismayed.
Things that I'm no longer interested in. Number 1, driving at night. Number 2, driving in winter. Number 3, getting on a scale. I don't like that anymore. And number 4, arguing with idiots. Number 5, being fashionable. Number 6, going to the gym. No use going to the gym anymore. I don't really care. Number 7, kale. Who likes kale? Number 8, wearing clothes that don't stretch. I need it. Number 9, counting carbs. And number 10, caring about what other people think of me.
Say something, a comment about the ref. Is it 20,000? It's a lot of money, eh? So I should not do it. I save my money, I gotta pay for diapers.
Crazy stats. Hank Aaron wore number 44 in 20 of his 21 seasons with the Braves. In the first season after his death, the Braves won 44 games before the All-Star break, 44 games after the All-Star break, and then won the World Series in the 44th week of the year.
We need Doubleday because as a culture we have to have origin myths. Now, baseball has no point of origin. It evolved. We know that. So they set up a commission, and they ginned up this absurd story about Abner Doubleday, who, as one writer said, probably didn't know a baseball from a kumquat, but he did fire the first responsive Union volley at Fort Sumter, and he did briefly command the troops at Gettysburg. So to have an American hero as the originator of the game seemed very appropriate indeed. It's total mythology. In fact, there is no single point of origin.
Let's not try to find a starting place for baseball. Let's consider it to be the Darwinian product of centuries of movement of people and continents and oceans, and something rising from the sea and then turning eventually after years of evolution into Barry Bonds.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way. From Kerr, who's sent out there to eat another inning up. Michael Talkman's inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Inside 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Kerr starts this inning with 23 pitches. The 2-0's nowhere near the zone ball, 3-3-0. That pitch was basically a pitch out. The pitch right there at the knees for a strike. It's three and one. So a 3-1 from Kerr. Fastball, another one right there at the knees. Almost the exact same spot, full count. So down 3-0, he's battled back to a full count to start the sixth. Kerr better start and hurry. I don't know. I don't think he got rid of that pitch in time, but they didn't call it. And that ball, doesn't matter, it's going to get swatted into right field for a leadoff single for the Chicago Cubs. They're going to flip it over to first, see if they can keep the runner close by. Lefty-righty matchup. Suzuki stands in. The pitch on the way. 95 miles an hour fastball swatted back out of play. It's 0-1. Kerr a couple of times been really close. In fact, two times since he's been on the mound, he went over the mark on the pitch clock, but they didn't call it. The 0-1 swung on, foul back out of play. It's 0-2. If you're wondering, yes, they are using the pitch clock still in the minor leagues, so that's not the issue. Kerr comes set, lifts his leg, just gets it off in time again. Fouled back out of play. We'll do it again. So an 0-2 count. Runner on first, nobody out. The pitch on the way. Swing, fouls it straight back. We'll do it again. Oh, 2. Lefty, righty. Kerr kicks and fires, swung on. That ball's lifted into center field, and making the catch is Harris. Scampering back to first is Talkman, one down. One down, and it'll be a lefty-lefty matchup with Bellinger. Bellinger, who is 2 for 2, stands in with a runner on first, one out. The first pitch from Kerr, down and away, 1-0. I don't recall in previous starts by Kerr, or previous appearances by Kerr, previous innings, because this is his 6th now that we've seen him, of him working this slow. I don't know if it's the fatigue factor. He's got to get it together. I mean, he's pitch after pitch, he's barely getting it off in time. The 1-0 swung on and fouled straight back, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. On deck is Morrell. You love a double play ball to get out of this spot right here. The pitch. Swing. Chops it foul. Do it again. Lefty, lefty, the pitch on the way, swung on, lifted high into left field, making the catch is Kelnick. Not very deep for out number 2. Talkman backpedals back to second. And Kerr, that was his 37th pitch of the evening. Lefty-righty matchup. Here comes Morrell. The first pitch on the way is down and in. 1-0. That was a sweeper, and it was nowhere near the zone. The 1-0. Pitch to Morrell, swung on, swatted hard, backhanded by short over at third, fires it across the diamond, and it's a 5-3 putout. Slick play by 2 short as we'll hit the bottom of the 6th and try to get some runs.
My wife asked if I've seen the dog bowl. I said I never knew he did. So I just got fired from my job, and I don't even know why, because I only no-call, no-showed one time. I mean, I was late every single day, and I called in today and yesterday, but, like, that is so unnecessary.
In the early days of baseball, some hitters would choose to use a flat bat. Batters felt that utilizing a flat bat allowed them to bunt easier. But Rule 1.10a was instituted stating the bat shall be a smooth, round stick.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
Yesterday I couldn't figure out if someone was waving at me or the person behind me. In other news, I lost my lifeguard job.
During the first decade of the 20th century, Americans sought to solve their country's problems by organizing everything. They formed children's aid societies, consumer associations, municipal reform leagues, and baseball teams. They played for the Reading Alerts, Utica Pentups, Binghamton Bingos, Scranton Choctaws, Hagerstown Antietam,s and New Jersey McClellans, the Laredo Apaches, Union City Greyhounds, Cincinnati Porkers, Evansville River Rats, and Iola Gas Band. They played for the Greenville, Mississippi Buckshots, Troy Collar and Cuff Makers, Providence Clam Diggers, Terre Haute Hottentots, Des Moines Undertakers, Lebanon Pretzel Eaters, Yakima Pippin, Bangor Bangers, and the Hartford Wideawakes. So eager to play, they got up at dawn to get in a game before they went to work.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail this one 5-0. Still got a ways to go here. So we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch on the way to Ozzie, swung on and chopped foul down the first base line. It's 0-1. Braves will see the San Diego Padres this coming weekend, a wraparound series, a 4-game set. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday day game, which will be the chat day. And then Monday is the 0-1. Top of the zone, first strike, 0-2. I will put the chat up extremely early that day. You're going to wake up with that chat on, because when I get home, I'm going to fly into the microphone and call you the rest of the game. Just not 100% sure what time I'll be here. Pitch on the way to Ozzie, swatted back foul. Back behind home plate, out of play. It's 0-2. The 0-2. Outside wide, 1-2. What I've seen from Harris the last, almost a month, he's just kind of mailing it in. Last year he was really working the counts, and it's really getting frustrating watching it up close like this every night, because you see him just almost like he's just guessing. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down. And you can have an off night. I get that part. You're not going to go up there and that's why it's the hardest sport to play. When you see it night after night where he's swinging early in the count, not getting good swings. He had that one good night. What was that, last weekend, I believe, and that's it. I mean, other than that, you can make the argument he should be the number 9 hitter when everyone comes back. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is right there at the knees. For strike, it's 0-1. The 0-1 from Assad. Swung on, chopped foul down the line. It's 0-2. I thought this might be a tough matchup. Assad, the Braves are missing some of their starters. That's number 1. Number 2, they're not really hitting on all cylinders right now. And this guy has 6 pitches that he commands really well. That's why he came into this game with a 1.7 ERA. The 0-2 pitch swung on. That ball is swatted into center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. We'll see if the Big Zoo can get things going here for your Atlanta Braves. Travis d'Arnaud will come to the plate. They seem to just kind of be sleepwalking tonight. Maybe that'll get things going. Olson's 0 for 2. The strikeout and the line out. The first pitch on the way to Matty is way outside, high, wide. 1-0. But you know, last year we were playing really well offensively this time of year. Then we sputtered in October. I will gladly take a reversal of that. The 1-0, swung on, flipped it back, foul, out of play. It's 1-1. You also wonder, is this a product of, if you remember Braves Fest, if you went to Braves Fest, or if you just heard the coverage of it, we went over this quite a bit during the offseason, but there was more than a handful of comments and players as the 1-1 pitch, swing, and that ball's hammered down the right field line. Foul, 1-2. And to a man, they all said the same thing, that it was World Series or bust, that they're no longer happy with just winning a division, et cetera, et cetera. And you wonder if they might be kind of conserving some energy and be a little more laser focused in September, August, heading into October, as opposed to the past few years where it's kind of been the exact opposite. The 1-2 down and in 2-2. But we started off slow in 2022. Then we got roasting hot beginning in June, and I just felt like we ran out of gas when we got to October. And those layoffs have not helped. Not that I don't want to win the division, but I do wonder, as the 2-2 pitch misses outside wide, 3-2. Let's say it happens. Let's say the Philly wins the division. Braves play in that first round. We get through it. And then we're the team swinging the hot bats in the NLDS. Will that end up being what sparks this team to go further than they have the last 2 years? And you better believe, as the payoff pitch to Olson, a swing and a miss, strike 3, blew it right by him. I think he was looking for something off speed, 2 away. You better believe if that happens, all of a sudden MLB will look at it. Because it was one thing for the Dodgers to get knocked out, and they're going to hate that because they are a big-time brand. But if you start getting some of those Northeast teams knocked out in the first round because of it, as the first pitch on the way to d'Arnaud hit hard on the ground, but right at the first baseman, Bush, and that'll end the inning. We'll head to the 7th inning. The Braves trail 5-0 here on a Wednesday night.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Hall of Famer Larry Walker was a big fan of the number 3. He wore the number 33 for his entire career. His first contract with the Expos was $3 million, and the most stolen bases he had in a season was 33. He also got married on November 3rd at 3:33 p.m. His career batting average with the Rockies was .333, and he was the 333rd member of the Hall of Fame.
The final weeks of the 1908 National League season saw a fierce struggle between the Chicago Cubs and their arch rivals, the New York Giants. With the pennant on the line, they met at the Polo Grounds on September 23rd. In the bottom of the 9th, there were 2 outs and 2 men on for the Giants, with the score tied 1-1. Giant pinch hitter Moose McCormick was on third, representing the winning run. Fred Merkle was the runner on first. Al Bridwell, the Giant shortstop, was up to bat. He lined the very first pitch past Cubs second baseman Johnny Evers into center field for a clean single. Moose McCormick lumbered home. The Giants had won the game and most likely the pennant.
Trying to explain the Merkle boner in 25 words or less is like trying to explain relativity to kindergartners. It's a force out, and under the rules of baseball, and this had happened in a game umpired by the same umpire 3 weeks earlier, so Evers knew where he stood. Under the rules of baseball, the play was not completed so long as there was a force out possible, and with the force out concluded, the run that scored didn't count. It ended up determining who won the pennant that year. It also ended up leaving poor Fred Merkle with this eponym created to embarrass and humiliate him and his ghostly presence even to this day.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Jesse Chavez will get some work in. First pitch from Jesse is a bouncer up over his head. It tips off his glove, making a sliding stop, leaping to his feet, firing it over to first for a 6-3 putout. Impressive defensive play once again by the Gold Glove of Orlando Arcia. Man, was that a pretty play. And Jesse gives him the heads up because he knows that when he touched that ball, that made it all that more difficult. First pitch on the way from Chavez to Mastroboni is right there for a strike on the outer edge. It's 0-1. I'll tell you who Assad reminds me of. They don't look alike. They don't, not necessarily the same build or whatever. But for some reason, he gives me that Chris Medlin feel where he's a guy that doesn't really overpower you, but he's around the plate. He's got several pitches, and he will keep you off balance. The 1-1 from Chavez is right there for a strike to Mastroboni. It's now 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Swung on, chopped over towards third. Zach Short fires it over there, and it is a 5-3 putout. 2 away. One thing is for sure, the defense on the left side has not taken a hit with the injury to Austin Riley. And Austin Riley's played some really great defense over the last couple of years. He's really improved his game, but man, Zach Short can pick it. Pitch on the way, swung on, banged over to Short. Shortstop once again. Not Zach Short, but Arcia, and he will rip it across to first, and that'll end the inning. A quick inning. We'll back in a flash. Get up and stretch.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. All right.
Braves going to try to grab those bats. Do something. I mean, give us a reason to hoop and holler something. First pitch on the way to Ben Brown. From Ben Brown, who's out of the bullpen. Misses for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Misses high. And out of the zone, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Pitch on the way. Misses outside 3-0. The 3-0. Kicks and fires 96 miles an hour right down the pipe. 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Swing, and that ball's hammered right at him. It's an atom ball to third. Morrell leaping catch. 1 down. Hard hit ball. Morrell had to get to his tippy toes. So 1 down. First strike right there to Arcia, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch swung on. That ball's hit hard down the left field line. That's going to get down for a base hit. Runner on second, 1 out. A 1-out double for Orlando Arcia. First pitch on the way to Kelnick is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Swung on and just foul tipped it. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Chase that one well out of the zone inside. Looked like the curveball. So now there are 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up Zach Short. Zach Short takes the first pitch right down the pipe for a strike. It's 0-1. Phillies 10, Mets 5, bottom 8. That bullpen game didn't quite work out, or the AAA pitcher that they had, whatever the idea was there. Pitch on the way to Short is high and out of the zone, 1-1. Cubs 5, Braves nothing. The pitch, whoa, inside, has to bend him around. Short was almost too tall because that thing about hit him in the head. Good thing he is short. A lot easier to get out of there. The 2-1, righty. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that ball's laced into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. That ball is going where the green grass grows. It is 5-1, and Zach Short is safe. He's got an RBI double. And Little Man keeps rocking and rolling. A great fill-in for Austin Riley. So 5-1 your score. First pitch to Harris. He takes a hack at the first pitch he sees, swats it back foul. It's 0-1. Harris, 1 for 3. Ben Brown, he's been in and out of the bullpen. He has gotten some spot starts. So he's kind of like a piggyback swingman type. The 0-1 pitch swung on, chopped foul down the line. It's 0-2. Harris down to his last strike. For you basketball fans, the Celtics are about to head to the next round. They lead the Cavaliers by about 17 with 50 seconds left. The pitch on the way. Man, he's swatted that one, got a piece of it to stay alive, but that was about 3 inches off the plate at least. But that's what they'll do with you. If they got 2 strikes on you and they know you'll chase, why would they throw you a strike? The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, blew it right by him. Gas on the outer edge. That'll end the innings. Braves put 1 on the board, but that's where it ends. We'll be back in a flash, 5-1.
Bacon fact number 18. Bacon is healthier than crystal meth.
Ladies, when you send us to the store, turn your ringtone on. It's not even in case we might call you, okay? We're going to call you. The potatoes aren't where you said they'd be. The guy who works here's never even heard of the hair stuff you use. And the aisle you said ketchup would be in is now cleaning supplies. Meanwhile, my wife can't go 11 seconds without scrolling on TikTok. Yet every time she sends me to the store, she immediately gets into the shower after throwing her phone into the bottom of a lake. Can't get the girl to focus on a movie for an hour, but when she needs the most specific eggs they make, she cracks her phone in half and buries it like she's being tracked by the FBI. So I just gotta walk around Target like I'm studying for a chemistry test. Every time I go to the supermarket alone, they're rearranging the aisles. The section I gotta get to is always under construction. Do you know how many different types of cheese they make? Then I get called a moron when I buy the wrong one. Why do they make so many different toothpastes?
I'm a good man.
Yes, you are.
I'll give about 50% of my money to charity.
Yeah?
Except when she's not working, I give it to Destiny.
Crazy stats. Mark Lemke played for 11 seasons and had 3,664 career regular season plate appearances. You may be asking yourself, what is crazy about that? In his entire career, he was never hit by a pitch. Lemke also had 257 career postseason plate appearances, and you guessed it, he was never hit by a pitch.
I remember reading a story one time about Cobb in the minor leagues playing, and they didn't shower in the ballpark. They would go back to their little apartment or house, whatever it was, and every day Cobb was always in the tub ahead of the roommate. And this one particular day, the roommate got back to the house, and the roommate got into the tub, and Cobb came in and dragged him out of the tub and said from the bottom of his heart, "Don't you understand? I have to be first."
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Your Atlanta Braves trail 5-1. First pitch on the way from Chavez to Armstrong is a strike on the edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1 kicks and fires, and it is kicked foul down the line, 0-2. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up. The 0-2 swing and fouls it straight back. Well out of play. Do it again, 0-2. This is night and day between watching Jesse and Kerr pitch. Kerr, you could read a chapter of your book in between pitches. Jesse, you can barely breathe. The pitch on the way from Chavez is swung on. That ball is going to get dumped into left center field, and he is on his horse, and he's going to stretch that into a triple because the Braves were extremely slow getting the ball back in. I mean, I don't know. I mean, did they go out and raise some cane last night? Everybody is just kind of dragging. That should have been a double. Ball was, they split the gap. And Armstrong, who can fly, did not slow down once he saw that Kelenic was getting the ball just kind of slow. First pitch on the way from Chavez to the number 9 hitter. Gomes is swung on. That ball is belted deep into right field. It'll be caught, but that'll be an easy run at 6-1 Chicago. F9 in your scorecard with the RBI. First pitch on the way from Chavez to Talkman, the leadoff hitter, is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. He's 2 for 4 on the night. The 1-0 right there, first strike, 1-1. The 1-1. Swing and fouls it out of play. Do it again. Talkman had a solo home run, started it all off. Charlie Morton with a terrible night tonight. The 1-2. Off the plate wide. Evens up the count 2-2. If you joined us late, Charlie Morton, 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Pitch on the way, a slap back foul. We'll do it again. 2-2. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, gave up the home run. Raises ERA to 3.52. Kerr came in and he gave up an earned run, and so did Jesse. The 2-2 is nowhere near the zone. Full count 3-2. If these scores hold in Philly and Atlanta, the Braves will be 3 out, 1 back in the loss column. Pitch on the way. Caught, looking, strike 3. Talkman shaking his head. He's arguing with home plate umpire. DeJesus, he didn't toss him, I don't believe, but he was definitely giving him some jaw as he was heading back to the dugout. First pitch on the way to Suzuki is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Right there at the knees, first strike, 1-1. Kerr ate up 3 innings when Charlie just went 3. So it was yeoman's work for Kerr. I mean, essentially, he did his job. The 1-1 off the plate wide, 2-1. Yeah, he gave up the earned run, but all in all, you got to like what he did. There was 2 main things that Suzuki hammers one high and deep. Is that going to hold? It will not. Boom goes the dynamite at 7-1 Chicago. Good Lord. Well, I guess we had this one coming. Last night we won 7-0, and now we trail 7-1. Suzuki parked that into the left center field seats. It's pretty interesting, though. Harris was climbing that wall, seeing if he could steal it. He had no shot. First pitch on the way to Bellinger is going to be a fly out to deep left field, and that'll end the inning. But not for the Atlanta Braves. Cough up 2 more. Heart of the order coming up for the Bravos here in the 8th.
Check this out. Did you guys know that Pittsburgh is in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Yeah. Now think about that. That's crazy. Like 2 cities in 1 state?
No, that's not crazy.
No, not at all. No. All right, I don't think you understand. There's 2 cities in the same state. Like, how's that even possible?
All states have more than one city.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
There's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So that's what Pennsylvania is.
Oh, no.
Oh, so Philadelphia's not Pennsylvania?
No, Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. What is this man talking about?
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. The 1960 World Series was between the Pirates and the Yankees and ended with a walk-off homer by Pirates second baseman Bill Mazeroski. The MVP of that series wasn't Mazeroski, but instead it was Yankees player Bobby Richardson. His 12 RBIs led him to becoming the only World Series MVP who was on the losing team.
It is important to remember in an imperfect and fretful world that we have an institution which is practically above reproach and above criticism. Nobody worth mentioning wants to change its constitution or limit its powers. The government is not asked to inspect it, regulate, suppress, guarantee, or own it. There is no movement afoot that we know of to uplift it like the stage, or to abolish it like marriage. No one complains that it is vulgar like the newspapers. or that it assassinates genius, like the magazines. It rouses no-class passions, and while it has magnates, they go unhung with our approval. This once comparatively perfect flower of our sadly defective civilization is, of course, baseball, the only important institution, so far as we remember, which the United States regards with a practically universal approval. Saturday Evening Post.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Ozzie is swung on and backhanded. It's going to get kicked in towards left field. Ozzie will be on. That should be an error, but they may give him a... We'll see how they score that. He might get the benefit of the doubt. I do believe they're giving him a base hit, but that was definitely an error. First pitch to Ozuna is high and inside for a ball. It's 1-0, 97 miles an hour. If you're on any other level, okay, I get it, but a major league second baseman has to make that play. The 1-0, high and inside, 2-0. So a 2-0 count to Ozuna. Kicks and fires, swung on, grounded over towards short. It's going to be a 6, 4, 3, rally killing double play. Two down now, and that'll bring Matt Olson to the plate. Olson is 0 for 3. Average now back down to 214 with a 717 OPS. First pitch on the way to Olson is outside wide. Excuse me. It's 1-0. The 1-0 swung on and sliced into center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Matt Olson. It's at least good to see some of these guys get some base hits. We'll regroup on Friday. First pitch on the way to Darnold is right there at the knees for a strike. It's on 1. Sorry, I had to mute my mic. I had a hell of a case of the sneezes. Guess I'm allergic to all this bad play. The 0-1 to Darnold is well off the plate wide, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Darnold, swing and a miss over the top. It's 1-2. Yankees lead the Twins 4-0. That game's in the 7th. Houston 3-0 over Oakland in the 6th. Tampa Bay 4-3 over Boston. As the pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Braves put a couple on, but can't get them across. It's 7-1 heading to inning number 9.
Okay, put a finger down if you my ex-boyfriend Steven in the Burger King parking lot.
John Lester will be remembered as a very intense, consistent pitcher. He was so consistent that in 241 starts for the Red Sox, he had a 3.64 ERA, and in 171 starts with the Cubs, he also had a 3.64 ERA. In 1995, a contest was held to name a future Arizona baseball team. The name Diamondbacks won, but there were some other choices. The Arizona Diamondbacks were almost the Rattlers, Scorpions, Phoenixes, or Coyotes.
I like old trucks, I like Nickelback, I like extra large t-shirts that say something funny on them, and I've realized that I am one beer belly and 2 ex-wives away from becoming my Uncle Earl.
Y'all, my dog size and snore is way too hard for somebody who does not contribute to this household.
We don't have set sides of the bed.
Yeah, we sort of lie down wherever.
What are you, farm animals? Couples have set sides of the bed. Walk me through this. You get ready for bed. You put your sweats on, whatever.
Actually, we sleep naked.
Oh, I'm sorry, what? No sides, no clothes, no rules. Basically, your bedroom is Thunderdome. Filthy, naked hippies.
Baseball's thought of as this game of geometry. The game of geometry. It's perfect. It's 90 feet, it's 60 feet, it's this, it's that. Everything's perfect, right angles, everything's all that. And then it has the strictest rules, and it has the strictest history, everything interpreted. And kids play it all over the place with 2 bases, 1 base, with a car parked in the middle of where they're playing. They play it in the street. We played it in the hollow, used trees for bases. We call it the hollow, where I lived in Lexington, Virginia. We had a wonderful baseball game. You can improvise baseball in a living room. You can improvise baseball on a New York street, and people do every day. You can play it in a pasture. You can play it on the side of a hill. You can play baseball anywhere.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Braves trail 7-1. We head to the 9th inning. Jackson Stevens will get his chances. He comes in with a 3.86 ERA over 2 1/3 innings. First pitch on the way is popped up. High in the sky. Will it stay in play? Making the catch is Olsen over there by the first base dugout, 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 out. That's where you like to see it in a 7-1 affair in the 9th. We'll hit the out-of-town scoreboard real quick to keep you up to date on what's going on. Rays 4, Red Sox 3. That game's in the 9th. First pitch on the way from Stevens to Bush is bang back foul. It's 0-1. Yankees 4-0 over the Twins in the 7th. Pittsburgh, they lose 10-2 to Milwaukee earlier today. Pitch on the way from Stevens, up high and out of the zone, 1-1. Arizona, 2-1 winners over Cincinnati. The 1-1 outside wide, 2-1. Colorado pasted San Diego 8-0, so they'll come in licking their wounds on Friday just like the Braves. The pitch on the way, did he go down? He did not go around. 3-1. So a 3-1 count to Bush. Mastroboni stands on deck. Phillies 10-5 winners over the Mets. The 3-1 pitch, high and out of the zone. Ball 4. Angels and Cardinals 4-0 Los Angeles as they are just beginning the 2nd inning. Baltimore had a walk-off home run today. If you missed that, that was pretty cool. Adley Rutschman, Baltimore was trailing 2-1 in the bottom of the 9th inning, and he hit a bomb over the right field gates as the place erupted, walking off their division rival Toronto. First pitch on the way from Stevens to Mastroboni's nowhere near the zone. It's 1-0. The 1-0. White Sox beat Washington 2-0. Crochet over Corbin. Swung on. Bangs that foul out of play, 1-1. Kind of a check swing. Half-hearted swing. Seattle 4-2 over Kansas City. Dodgers and San Francisco have not gotten underway yet. Cleveland and Texas. Rangers lead the Guardians 2-0 in the 6th. And that's your scoreboard. Pitch on the way. Looked like it grabbed the bottom of the zone. A little surprised he didn't get the call there. 2-1. He's been given some wide strike calls late in the game. A little surprised he didn't give a low one there. So a 2-1 count. Swung on. That ball's laced into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And runners on first and second. 1 out. Jackson Stevens going to have to settle down here. He's getting slapped around a little bit. He might be the one that gets sent back. It may be a toss-up between him and Kerr. If he has a bad outing here, they may not care if they have to DFA him. Nick Madrigal is 3 for 4, and this is the bottom of a bad Cubs lineup. I mean, they got some guys on the shelf. Remember, Dansby Swanson didn't even play in this series. First pitch is right up top for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Armstrong sits on deck. Gomes in the hole. The 0-1. Stevens lets her go. Inside hits him. Nowhere near the zone. Jackson Stevens can start packing because he has looked terrible. So he's loaded the bases now and 1 out. If Pierce Johnson is coming back, it may not be the worst idea in the world to let Stevens go and keep Kerr up there just as your long man. I mean, at least the guy can throw high 90s. First pitch on the way to Armstrong is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. That's the spirit, Nathaniel. Nathaniel says at least we didn't get shut out. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Armstrong, 2 for 3. He has a triple to his name. Kid can flat out fly. He was a high prospect a few years ago. He's never really turned into the prospect they thought he would. The 0-2 pitch, caught looking, strike 3. He just piped it right down the middle. Armstrong never took the bat off his shoulders. 2 away. So 2 down, bases loaded. If Stevens does get DFA'd, he's probably looking at it as he wants a good inning to have something to show for the next team that may pick him up. Pitch on the way is right there off the plate for a strike. It's 0-1. Now, he could decide to stay with the Braves organization when DFA'd. But if he thinks he can get picked up, is the pitch on the way, swung on, pops it up high in the sky. Making the fair catch in right field is Duvall. That'll end the inning. Bases got jammed full of Cubs. Somehow Stevens kept him off the plate. We'll be back in a flash to see how this one ends.
Did you touch the thermostat? Did you turn it up? Well, of course not. Did somebody fiddle with the thermostat? It's 85 degrees. 85? Do you have any idea how much even a few degrees can impact the gas bill? Of course I do. It's unthinkable. Why is it so hot? Someone fiddled with the thermostat. What? Who would do that?
What is going on?
Adriana, she turned up the thermostat.
Said she fiddles with the thermostat at your place anytime she damn well pleases.
Hey, you might as well give her your wallet and your 401k while you're at it.
Brad, do you let the kids touch the thermostat at your house?
What? No. The thermostat is a sacred covenant. I can't believe we're even talking about this. This is madness.
Lou Gehrig hit his first career home run on September 27, 1923. He hit his final home run on September 27, 1938. In total, he hit 5 home runs on September 27th. 2 of those came off of Hall of Famer Lefty Grove in 1931 and 1933.
Bad check, dumbass.
Holy crap!
No, it is not a bad check. We just want to say goodnight, and we love you very, very much. What are you doing?
Oh, just nailing his window shut for his own good.
What if there's a fire?
Well, then I guess you can just light your dope with it, dopehead.
If you look at pictures of, say, the 1915 Pirates,
you're going to see a very different kind of face than you see today. Hard men. Baseball at that point was a way out of the mines. This was a way for immigrant Americans to make a career, and they were tough men. Hungry young men coming after the established older men. Baseball was played with a ferocity of a kind of life and death, which in a sense it was for these players. So it represented the rise of American striving in a certain way.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Here on Braves Country Radio, please like and subscribe. For those of you Brave souls who are still around, the Braves trail 7-1. Luke Little will come on with his 7 ERA. So, hey, you're telling me there's a chance. Lefty-lefty matchup, or lefty-righty matchup, excuse me. First pitch on the way to Adam Duvall is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Duvall 0 for on the night, 0 for 3, batting .210 on the year. The pitch catches the outer part of the zone, I guess. Looked like a ball. Duvall kind of saying, is that a 7-1 call in the ninth? 1-1. The 1-1 down below the knees, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. The pitch outside, 3-1. Orlando Arcia stands on deck, Kelnick, and then Short. The 3-1 pitch, swing, and fouls it straight back. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 3-2. You got a payoff pitch for Duvall. Arcia stands on deck. He calls a quick timeout. Duvall gets back. Gets ready. The pitch swung on and lifted high and out of play. 3-2. Zach Little. Comes set, the pitch way outside, high, wide, ball 4. So we got something cooking here. I think I said Zach. I'm sick of Zach Luttrell. Luke Little, 23-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina. Went to college in San Jacinto Junior College in Texas. It was drafted in 2020 by the Cubs. Remember, that was the draft that only had 5 rounds. So they thought highly of him. First pitch on the way to Luke Williams, who steps in to get himself an at-bat. Is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 in the dirt. Does that hit Williams? Yep, he's heading on down to second. We've got a little bit of a rally. So 2 on, nobody out. We haven't had a chance to play this before. Here we go.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
First pitch on the way. To the left-handed bat of Kelnick. Right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 96 right down the pipe. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. 2 on, nobody out. The pitch. Caught, looking, strike 3. Man, Kelenic has been a statue up there tonight. It grabbed the outer edge of the zone. Kelenic didn't like it, but it definitely hit the strike zone. I don't know if he thought it was high, but it definitely hit the paint, and it was about just below the letters. So 1 on, 2 out. The first pitch to short is hammered over to third. It's going to be a 5-4-3 game-ending double play. I don't know if he actually got him, but I think first base umpire Adrian Johnson says it's time to go home. Snicker says, no, we don't have to catch a plane. We're going to go ahead and challenge this. If that was a double play, that was a hell of a turn. It was a hard one-hopper. Morrell basically closed his eyes, stuck up his glove, and said, look what I found. And looking at it, it is very close. Yeah, I think he's safe. I think it's, well, we'll see what happens here. His foot touched the bag before the ball was in the back of the glove. That's for sure. Now, whether or not they overturn it 7-1, they do. So, runners on the corners, 2 outs. I've got the feeling if the Braves were the road team, we don't challenge that and we get ready to get on the plane. But since you're at home, you never know. And here comes Michael Harris. Harris, lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way. Swung on, pops it up. High into right field, coming in, making the catch. He gave another at-bat away. And I know we're down 7-1, but he needs a seat. His at-bats are just embarrassing at this point. We will see you Friday night, no post-game show, 7-1 game, and had kind of a long day. I told you all at the beginning of the broadcast what was going down. We do want to give a shout-out to our longtime listener, Michael. I don't want to give out all his information, but Michael, you are going to be well remembered, and sports world just isn't going to be the same without you, sir. There's more to come on this. We'll probably talk about it more during the football season. He was a huge football fan, but he was a huge fan of our station, and our thoughts and prayers are with you, sir. Y'all have a great night, Braves country. Braves lose a tough one, 7-1, and we'll see you Friday for what hopefully will be a bounce-back game. Friday night versus the Padres, 7:20. Y'all have a good night.